Oh man, it is time to go already from the one more and it's not one more. It's the Illegal Shift Studio. It is the Illegal Shift Studio, and it's the One More and I'm Out of Here podcast.
There you go.
I got it figured out. Hi everyone, let's open this up. I'm Dan Carroll. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. No Pappas tonight, so we've got. I'm like mansplaining down here. I've got room to spread out. It's fantastic. Not that I'm happy Andrew Pappas isn't here, but he's not here, and that I've got freedom of movement.
Freedom of movement. I like it. Danno, how was your Christmas?
Christmas was let me think. It was good. It was good. We had to go to the in-laws' house. My wife's dad is pretty old, so they decided for I don't know what reason, they have Christmas at his place, which meant a full day's work for my wife. So that was kind of a bummer. But other than that, it was just chilling, hanging out, and we're here. I got
all the food, drinking all the beers.
I got a pair of pajama pants with a picture of my dog on it.
Yes. I was hoping you'd get those. I literally was hoping you would get those. I saw.
So it's all good. How about you?
Ours was good. Ours was a little bit different this year, obviously, with Jill's dad passing, but it was good. Great quality family time.
There you go. That's what it's all about.
Very low key, which was perfect. I think it's what the doctor ordered for everybody.
And I hope everyone watching the One More and I'm Out of Here podcast had an outstanding Christmas.
Yes.
And Happy New Year is coming up soon. And we're going to have a big night on New Year's night. So it's going to be, I don't know if it's going to be a night to remember.
Oh, we try to
We try. We try to. My son, who is in the police academy, he calls me up.
Shout out to Hassler, who's been on the podcast before. Shout out.
He calls me up, and I knew today was the day, and he got tased today as part of his police training.
God, I wish I had video of it. Oh my God, we should have played it.
There is video out there. He may get it. He may get it upon graduation from the police academy.
Oh, I'm gonna get it.
So it's out there. It can be had. So he got tased today. It's part of the training. It's one of those things you got to do. He knew it was going to happen today. And I said, how was it? And he said it was 5 seconds and it sucked.
It's 5 seconds of quote unquote riding the lightning.
Oh my God. And you've had to do it once, haven't you?
I actually, I did it with a former organization that I was with. Voluntarily, because they were getting new tasers, so that they had to get trained. And I was like, oh yeah, shit, I'll do it. Yeah, I agree with Hassler. I will never talk shit to a police officer. If I see a red dot, guess what? You win. Automatically, you win.
I'm amazed when I see the videos of some perp getting tased by a cop, and they'll say the taser had no effect. Now that's got to be a situation where the barbs don't connect correctly.
Right.
They don't because the barbs penetrate the skin, and he said because the team doctor is right there, and they take the barbs out of you, and it bleeds because they take a little bite out of your skin.
Yeah, it's like a fish hook.
Yeah. So
when I did it, they were taped. Luckily, I didn't actually get hit with it. Okay. They were taped on. And I knew the shit was coming.
Yeah.
But to have, I've had to pull the barbs out of people, in the field that have gotten tased.
Yeah. It takes a little chunk of skin with it.
And they're like, hey, bring the taser tool. Well, the taser tool is a pair of needle nose pliers. Bink. That's the way it works.
This is going to hurt you more than it hurts me.
Right. And guess what? You probably shouldn't have done what you just did. But
probably that's the way it works.
It's good. It's good they go through it, so that way they know what they're gonna be inflicting on somebody, out in the field once he graduates. But damn it, I wish I'd have known today was a day.
Do police typically wait for EMS to remove the barbs when there's been a tasing that takes place?
In our area, yes.
Yeah.
We're the ones that typically pull them out. Now I know some municipalities across the country that the cops just rip them out and then they take them straight to jail. So It varies by jurisdiction, but yeah, those barbs are nothing to be fucked with either. They're huge.
Yeah,
They're
No,
fucking huge.
and my son said I'm driving home, and we're talking on the phone. He says, have you ever been tased? And I said no, and I plan to never be tased over the course of my life.
What a question, Dad. Have you ever been tased?
I don't have any tattoos. I'll probably never get a tattoo, and I'll probably never be tased. I can say that with a pretty good degree of certainty. I'm not getting, I'm never going to say 100%. Oh shit! I just did.
Oh shit! Yeah, you did it. Just like old times.
Bad. That beer's good.
Just
I was
like
drinking bourbon on Christmas.
How much bourbon did you drink?
Somehow
A lot.
Somehow a bottle of Buffalo Trace wound up in our house before Christmas. And I didn't buy it. I don't know if someone dropped it off on the front porch, but it was there on the kitchen table, unopened. And so that was my beverage of choice during Christmas. Christmas Eve was really great. Went to my brother's house, and I had a great time there. A lot of great food. Drank about half that bottle of Buffalo Trace. And then we went and visited our buddy Nobes on Christmas Eve. And that's like a little tradition we have. So that was always fun.
Nice.
So that was, and this is really the first time I've had a beer in several days.
So you've been on the high octane. Now
I know
you're dropping it down to low.
I'm slurring my words already. one natty, and I'm good to go, ready to rock. But you know what what I'm not celebrating this year or ever is Kwanzaa. God, I mean, you have no idea the bullet that we dodged. When Kamala Harris lost that election.
Oh, shit.
So this moron comes out with this video the other day talking about, all the great times, her and her family had when they were kids, hanging around the Kwanzaa tree, and all the elders would be there and all this bullshit. Breitbart did a story on this.
No, that shit's not fucking factual. It can't be factual.
Kwanzaa, a holiday invented in 1966 by a racist extremist who served prison time for torturing women. Vice President Kamala Harris, who was born just 2 years before the holiday's inception. So what's the likelihood? And she was probably living in Canada at the time, that her family was celebrating Kwanzaa with all the elders and all the extended family, the uncles, the brothers, the cousins, all that crap, at the age of 4 or 5 or 6 years old. What's the likelihood that's a factual statement from her?
It's not.
Let's see. She was born just 2 years before the holiday's inception. Claimed in 2020 that she and her family used to gather around across multiple generations and discuss Kwanzaa's 7 principles, which are identical to the principles of left-wing terrorist organizations like the Symbionese Liberation Army. If you remember Patty Hearst, long time ago, that's the Symbionese Liberation Army. Harris wrote on X in 2020 that her family's Kwanzaa celebrations are one of my favorite childhood memories, garnering thousands of critical comments pointing out that the holiday's founder, Maulana Karenga, born Ronald McKinney Everett, pictured above in this article, he's pictured above, was a violent radical. Let me read on here. This is the guy who created the idea of Kwanzaa. He was also, I believe, an informant for the FBI. But in any case, here's what the Los Angeles Times wrote about this dude, Karenga, in 1971. Deborah Jones, who once was given the Swahili title of African Queen, said she and Gail Davis were whipped with electrical cords and beaten with a karate baton after being ordered to remove their clothes. She testified that a hot soldering iron was placed in Miss Davis's mouth and placed against Miss Davis's face, and that one of her own big toes was tightened in a vice. Karenga, head of U.S., which reportedly stands for United Slaves, thought that this is disputed. Also put detergent and running hoses in their mouth. He said they were also hit on the head with toasters. According to 2019 survey by AP, whatever this is, just 3% of Americans celebrate Kwanzaa through the study, though the study has a 4-point margin of error. Theoretically, it could be less than a single percentage point. Definitely far fewer than those who celebrate traditional religious holidays like Christmas or Hanukkah around the same time of year. Karenga set the date for Kwanzaa as December 26 to be an alternative to Christmas, declaring Christianity a white religion with a white God that black people should not celebrate. Now, over the course of our lives, you and I have both known black people. We know black people today.
Yes.
The black people that I know celebrate Christmas and have for as long as I've known them. What say you?
Yeah. No, I'm in agreement. Outside of I know many Jehovah's Witnesses that don't celebrate anything, so they don't ascribe to Kwanzaa either. So you have multiple factions there, but everybody that I know growing up and in my adult life, Kwanzaa, I don't even remember Kwanzaa being a thing up until like 10 years ago. And maybe 10. I'm throwing 10 out, but I might be wrong. But
I mean, why does she feel the need to lie about everything?
Our Kwanzaa celebrations. Well, it's Kamala. Is it Kamala? Kamala? We had this debate the other day on Christmas.
Or the Papist Kamala Lydia.
Is it Kamala?
Camel toe.
I said camel toe, and Jill's mom started laughing.
Oh, for God's sake!
What a fucking joke! And reading that description that you just read, Bosco said, "Well, sounds kinky." That sounds fucking terrible, and it's
horrific.
It's definitely not a yearly celebration that I want to subscribe to.
This is the post, and I should have sent you this picture, but I just started thinking about it just now.
It's all right.
On Christmas Day, Kamala Harris and then Doug Emhoff, the second gentleman who likes to slap women around and what were some of the other things he was accused of?
At least he's not taking a love hammer.
In any case, they put out this picture of them. And I guess this is the vice presidential mansion. I don't know, but they're at a table that has a white tablecloth over it. And she writes this, or whoever is right, because she's not. There's no way she's writing her own social media post.
She's not writing shit.
She writes, as vice president, one of my greatest honors and privileges is to spend time with U.S. service members. Today, Doug and I spoke with many of them who are deployed overseas and away from their families to express our gratitude for all they do for our nation. That's what Kamala Harris posted on Christmas Day. And I look at this picture, and I can almost say with 100% certainty, this is the exact same picture that they posted last year.
You said it.
Oh, shit.
Happy Friday night.
And I was thinking about this, and
were you able to go back and search it? Because I could.
No, I didn't. But it looks like. Here's the thing. Let me see. The idea that they want to converse with people in the military on Christmas Day. That might sound like they're really going the extra mile, like they really care. But no, it's not.
Dude, I don't think you're wrong.
All right, what do you have there? You found a picture. Does it have a date on it?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Keep talking.
Okay.
I'm still looking.
But anyway, so the picture looks almost exactly like the one that they put out last year. Same stupid gibberish. But I look at this and I see another example of just how shallow and ephemeral everything that Kamala Harris talks about is. I mean, there's literally no meaning to any of it. It's a feeble and misguided attempt in the fooling and tricking people into they actually believe something special when, I mean, she's not.
It's close. It's close. It's not the same, but it's
Okay.
close.
But here's the thing. When you're in the military and she wants to, on Christmas Day, spend time talking to the troops. Well, that means that let's say you have you're an E1, an E2, an E3. Chances are you're going to get an order from your base commander or someone higher up your chain of command that says, we need you to be at X location at 1300 hours, and you're going to be there for a couple of hours, and the vice president wants to talk to you. If you have probably one day off on Christmas, you don't want to do that.
And you're immediately stuck into that fucking spot.
Yeah. So
you have to be here.
Chances are there's a base commander who is passing this down to his group commanders there on the base and saying, look for volunteers. If you can't find volunteers, then you're just going to have to assign someone to do this. I mean, what a pain in the ass, because I've served overseas. I know what it is to be away from family and friends on holidays and other important days during the year. The last thing I want to do is get on a Zoom call with like someone like Kamala Harris and listen to her gibberish and pretend like this is something meaningful in my life, that I can't be with my family, so I get to do a Zoom call with you.
And I would think,
what a bunch of crap.
And I would think, and I want to speak for, out of turn, but I would think that most of our service men and women, that's not who they wanted to talk to.
No,
that is definitely not on. That was not on their bingo card of, Christmas Day, we're going to talk to Vice President Kamala Harris, who you're on your way out, so get the fuck out. And I would feel, I think that most of those service members feel we're ready for a change, and we don't need to talk to you.
Yeah, I didn't vote for you. I don't like you. I don't like your politics. And you can, but of course, the vast majority of our service members are going to have more self-control than to go on a Zoom call with the vice president, and they'll sit there and they'll make nice for 5 or 10 or 15 minutes or whatever it is, and then I mean, what a nightmare. And the reason I know this is because not only because I served overseas, but I used to work with a guy who served overseas, and he happened to be in Hawaii over Christmas during the Obama administration. And so he was a photographer and that was his job. And I mean, this guy is really, really good photographer. And I've seen some of his work, and it's like stuff you find in National Geographic. I mean, just really beautiful photographs. And so he was in Hawaii at the base he was at. They get a notification like 24 hours ahead of time. Hey, all leave is canceled. If you're not working on Christmas Day, got to be in uniform, got to report to the mess hall, 1,100 hours. The president's coming here at 2:30. So you got to get there super early, way ahead of time. And then this was when Obama would actually, because he would vacation in Hawaii, him and Michelle, and I guess the daughters. And so on Christmas, there was always the photo op with the troops. And so he would go to whatever military bases in Hawaii. And so this guy I know happened to be there, and he was supposed to have that day off. And so what are you going to do in Hawaii on Christmas Day? And you don't have family. You're going to go to the beach. You're going to party. You're going to snorkel. You're going to, have fun.
You're going to do whatever you want to do.
But instead, you got to put your uniform on. You got to trudge your ass to the assembly hall or the chow hall, wherever the event's taking place. You got to go through Secret Service, right? You got to go through their screenings and all that shit. Mm-hmm. You got to be in there several hours ahead of time. And I've done this covering presidents as a member of the media. because I've had to do you go there, you go through the dogs sniff your ass. I mean, they sniff your bags, all that shit, and you sit there for 2 or 3 hours and you wait for the president or the vice president to show up. So they all get in there. They're in there. I mean, it's hot, man. It's it's Christmas Day. So finally, Obama shows up, and he comes, and the cameras are there, and he's all glib and happy and making a speech and all this shit. Can you grab me one while you're at it? And then,
absolutely.
The time comes, and we need a group photograph. So now my buddy, it's his turn, and he's responsible for taking the photograph. So it's all set up. He's got a ladder that he's going to stand on. All the GIs are there, and they're all in there. And so, the Secret Service is moving around. Everyone's a big group photo, and he's getting up there. He's getting the camera all set up. He's looking behind the camera, and he says, "Now, Mr. President, could you take just a few steps this way, please?" And Obama goes this. And he says, "That's good." He says, "I'll tell you what, just one more step back to your right. Would you do that, please?" And Obama takes a step back to his right. And he's like, you know what? He didn't have to move. But he said, that was my revenge for being there that day. So he said, I wanted to tell the president of the United States, step this way, step that way.
I love that.
Because he was so pissed about having to ruin his day. Because it turns out being a 6 or 7 or 8 hour day, because Obama wants to have a 15 or 20 minute photo op.
Right.
I mean, for God's sake. It's a great story, though. I'll have to have him tell it to you sometime.
I do love that. You're actually able to tell the president what to do.
Yeah.
The one person. You were the
That's
one
right.
person.
You're the photographer. You have an unbelievable amount of power when you're standing behind a camera. It's crazy what you can do. Mr. President, please, just a couple steps that way. That's good.
That's fucking hilarious.
And who wouldn't do that? Would you do it if you had the chance?
Oh, I'd fucking totally do it. I'd make him do almost like the fucking chicken dance. Because it is. That's a huge undertaking whenever the president goes, whoever the president, doesn't matter who, wherever they go. It's a huge fucking undertaking on the infrastructure of, all the municipalities that he's going to touch. It's huge. And I've had the ability, and I don't want to say the honor, whatever, to be a part of some of these things where I used to work.
Yeah,
presidents would drive through our area to get up to a very affluent area, and we would be briefed by Secret Service,
and that's really it's about the only way to go, really, when you think about it. Yeah.
Super cool experience to be able to sit in these meetings with these guys, and they know to the minute where they're going to be. They're going to be at this block at this point, this block at this point. Super, super impressive. But like to your buddy's point, they're like, fuck, this is the last thing I want to fucking do. Like, I get it. I totally understand it.
I mean, look, if you're going to send out a video, if you're an elected politician, send out a video message. Let the troops know you appreciate them, because the troops do appreciate that. But on the rare chance, and look, there's a lot of troops that are actually working and performing their duties on Christmas Day, just like they do every other day of the year. But the ones who are not working are the only ones who are going to be able to come and attend your events. The other troops can't because they're working. They're busy. They're protecting the country. They're serving, they're manning their post, so to speak. Whatever that post may be, if it's in front of a computer, if it's, in the belly of an airplane, right? The ones who are going to be able to, enjoy your whatever you're doing are the ones who aren't working that day.
Right.
I mean, for God's sake.
And then to throw the fucking Kwanzaa thing out, that shit's fucking hilarious.
I mean, we dodged a huge bullet. She's not president.
I want to play this video. So we talked about the drones and all the mysterious drones and shit, and we still have gotten zero answers as to what exactly they are. But I saw this video and I loved it. And when I put in the description of the public is now taking shit into their own hands. I just gotta make sure I find the right one. There it is. It just made me giggle when I saw this, and this poor fucker, this poor old dude. He saw something and he wanted to take care of it, and gets hemmed up.
Today, did a drone fly over your house and you shoot at it? I'm gonna be real blunt with you and ask.
Yeah,
You did?
yeah.
Okay, why'd you shoot at it?
Because I thought it was somebody and turn around playing games on my house.
I got you. Where did you see the drone at?
Right above me.
What, can you walk out and just kind of show me?
Right there.
Sitting straight above it?
Straight above me.
Do you have any idea?
Hovered, lowered some kind of cord down or something, turned around and sent something back up, and then after it was shot at, it turned around and went north.
Gotcha. Okay. What'd you shoot at it with?
9mm.
Okay. All right.
How much trouble am I in?
Quite a bit. You've been honest with me. I'm gonna be honest with you. Quite a bit, actually. So there's a federal charge that goes along with it. There's a felony charge that goes along with it. That's kind of like where we're at.
Okay.
Okay.
What happens and what happens and what? Waved it off and everything. Never left. I went inside, went into the safe, got the weapon, came out, tried to shoot it off again. It didn't move. I fired one round at it. Now they say I hit it, so I must be a good shot, or else it's not that far away. So I'm under all sorts of.
With a 9mm.
With a handgun, yeah,
that
that is a good shot.
$10,000 worth of damage to the drone and all
Not a huge
sorts of
target.
stuff. So I'm going to wind up having to find a real good defense lawyer.
You want a coffee in the front?
Whatever you need to do by protocol.
Well, no, we have.
We've been fine. There's no issues. We're not,
Complying.
That is a good example of compliance right there.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
At some
It's just so fucking ironic in the fact that, and again, we've talked about, like, I'm licensed to fly drones. I fly with my fire department, whatever.
Yeah.
But everybody is so fucking scared of what these drones are because nobody is giving us any fucking answers. So he decided to take matters into his own hands, take a shot. He hit it, which I think is awesome. Like we said, a handgun shooting at a small target, I don't know how high it was. Pretty impressive anyway. Especially the fact that, like, he's the age of, like a grandfather.
Yeah, if you can go out there and pop a drone with a 9mm from probably a couple hundred yards, maybe 150 yards, that is a great shot.
But we have still gotten zero answers as to what all this bullshit is.
And the thing is, it's probably in the long run not that big of a deal. But the fact that we can't get a straight answer because there's someone out there who knows exactly what's going on.
Exactly.
And the fact that to me is the biggest thing about the whole drone situation is that, as intelligent people, we know the government conducts experiments. We know they're working on new shit all the time. Mm-hmm. If that's what's going on, then just give us a clue.
Hey, we're working on some things.
Yeah.
Just say we're working on some things.
That's it. Can't let the cat out of the bag.
Instead of having senators coming out saying, "Oh no, we have no idea what this is, and this is absolute craziness."
Yeah. There's an Iranian mothership off the coast.
The Iranian mothership. That's what it was.
That used to work back in the 1940s. That really doesn't work too much anymore.
No, it's give us a heads up. But the fact this poor fucker is now getting hit with federal charges and another felony on top of the probably the municipality for discharging a firearm. Good for him to hit it.
I love the fact he's getting cuffed. He's like, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. That's what. See, your average cop can take a joke. They knew the guy was joking. They were having fun with it too.
Right. They're like, we know it's bullshit. We
yeah.
get it, but we have to fucking do our job, which they did their job, which is cool.
Right.
Good with that.
That did not, but I mean, there's other situations that you see video where guys get tased or whatever, and situations escalate unnecessarily. That situation did not. The guy explained exactly what he did. He knew.
I saw it right here.
he knew that the whole thing was going to suck for him. But in the long run, I mean, there's probably going to be a fine, probably no jail time. I mean, if I'm the judge,
I want to try to follow up on that because I'd be curious to see how that works out. I mean, the guy's probably 72, 75 years old, whatever.
Is Cincy 513 in the chats tonight?
I haven't seen him yet.
Ah, doggone it.
What do you got?
I don't know. Well, I've got a headline here for him, but I don't know if since he's not here, I wonder if I should save it for later.
Oh, we could always do it twice.
Okay.
Because the other listeners will love it too.
All right. This is good news for Cincy 513. And let me get rid of this. And here,
it's like Beetlejuice, though. If you say it enough times, he might show up.
Can you want to read that headline right there?
Young liberal women are the most mentally ill demographic. Old conservative men, the least.
So there you go. Cincy 513, you can sleep well tonight, knowing that you're not in the most mentally ill demographic of young liberal women. So that is my holiday gift to you. Cincy 513. There you go.
And actually, you know what's funny is the last couple episodes I haven't seen him, so he might have just got tired. He might have got tired of it. I don't know. We'll see. It's like Beetlejuice, though. He might show up.
But Joe Biden is on vacation again, and at this point, he has spent 40% of his presidency on vacation.
How do they?
Can you imagine that?
I have to ask you. Like, I'm assuming you have the article, but I mean, are they going like business days? Like, how do they equate that? This is a real question.
Well, Joe Biden he's taking a ton of vacation time
because we busted Barack. We busted Barack for how many times he was in Hawaii on vacation.
Yeah,
and then they busted Trump for how many times. But like Trump has a fucking. He's got places everywhere, so it's like, all right, he's visiting his other, country clubs or Mar-a-Lago, obviously the home base.
I don't know. I don't know how much time Trump spent on vacation.
I don't know how they base it though. That's my thing.
Yeah, I'm willing to guarantee it's nowhere near 40% of the 4 years he was in office. 4 years in office, 40% of that is like a year and 8 or 9 months.
No, I
think about that.
No, I get it.
How would you like to have out of your last 4 years that? Well, maybe you're not the best.
I want to know what the metrics are, though. I want to know what the metrics of how they're measuring it.
All right,
because I agree with you. I mean, I get it. He's fucking. I mean, especially now, he's stumbling on a beach and can barely walk in sand. For fuck's sakes, but it's one of those things. If you have the ability, and he was, where the fuck did they just say he was going?
They're in the like St. Croix.
Yeah, St. Croix. Yeah. That's what it was.
Donald Trump put out a Christmas Day message. Here, let me see. Here, let me see. Here's what Donald Trump said in his holiday message. He said, to the 37 most violent criminals who killed, raped, and plundered like virtually no one before them.
I'm glad you pulled that.
But were just given, incredibly, a pardon by sleepy Joe Biden. And this is Trump writing on Truth Social. He said, or he wrote, I refuse to wish a Merry Christmas to those lucky souls, but instead will say, go to hell.
I almost pulled this. I'm glad you grabbed it.
Oh, my God. Who sends out a Christmas message like that?
who pardons cop killers? He pardoned.
Was there a cop killer in there?
Yes.
I mean, I know there were some of the worst fucking skells, that ever draw breath.
Yeah, there was a cop killer in that 37, which is bullshit. But I'm glad you grabbed that because I saw it and I didn't pull it.
I thought they were mostly just people that, killed little girls and their families and, raped women in front of their kids and that sort of thing. And left girls to die in the forest with their throats slit.
Or how about an illegal?
I didn't know they were cop killers.
How about an illegal immigrant that?
God, I mean,
that subway
was that was the day before Christmas, wasn't it? That was on Christmas Eve.
I believe so.
When that happened.
And this guy
I've seen. Have you seen the unedited version of that?
I have not seen
the video. I've seen. That was the first thing that popped up that day that this story came out, and I sat there and watched that unpixelated raw video from the scene, and I could literally not believe what I was seeing.
Yeah, it's fucking gross. I'm glad I didn't see it because I've seen enough shit, but the fact that and I brought this story in the fact that Luigi was it Mangione or however you pronounce it?
I don't know. Yeah. I don't even like saying those dudes' names.
No, you're right. And
the guy who killed the CEO, and then this illegal piece of shit.
And I'm not saying this guy's name, but I
from fucking Guatemala.
I had to put some context in.
Yeah.
But this guy has already been deported by the Trump administration.
Mm-hmm.
Finds his way back in under the Biden administration.
What a surprise.
Sets fire to a young girl who was working on her PhD. Now, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here real quick. She could have been a complete piece of shit, but she didn't deserve that. Right? Now, here in the videos or the interviews,
I really can't think of a lot of people who deserve something like that.
No, nobody does. But I'm just saying, like, she could have been a crackhead or whatever. She was not. She was an upstanding individual trying to better herself. Saw the interviews with her parents.
Have they identified? They've identified her now.
Yeah.
Okay, because I saw earlier today they were still working to identify her.
Yeah, they knew who she was.
They were talking about.
She went to shit. I can't remember the fucking school.
The story I heard earlier today is that they were using advanced DNA techniques and fingerprinting techniques to try and get an identity on her.
No, so I'll find the article. I'll look for it. But either way, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who it was.
No, doesn't.
This piece of shit set fire to another human being who was already deported. Shouldn't have been here anyway. And so that Luigi dude gets a big fucking perp walk, which it is what it is. I know that, his defense attorneys are bitching about that. This guy didn't even have to show up to his own arraignment. His attorney just, goes into court and whatever. Why does that happen? I don't understand why that happens, but I think it's fucking bullshit. And I love the fact that Homan, the new border czar, said day one, shit's happening.
Day one.
He's setting foot in Chicago on day one. I know this is New York, but everything is going to start coming to a fold, to where all these Democrats and liberals that want to be like, oh well, we just you let them in, it's fine, it's fine.
Bullshit.
No, it's not good. Look at what is happening right now.
Did you see the video where he had a blanket and at one point he's standing there and she's burning and he's fanning the flames? Did you see that?
I only saw where he was sitting outside on a bench watching it. And it was fucking disgusting.
According to prosecutors, this fucking skell told police that he drinks a lot of liquor, doesn't know what happened at the time of the fatal attack. This guy, this illegal fuck, had been living in Brooklyn homeless shelters frequented by men with substance abuse problems. So I guess that's going to be the angle of the defense here, is that this guy was such a retard, such a piece of shit, such a substance abuser, alcohol and drugs, that he just didn't have any idea what he was doing. But it's good, though, that he doesn't remember what happened and doesn't have any idea, because you know what? The cameras clearly show exactly what happened. Here's my question, though. The original reporting that I read on this was that this dude just like walked up and threw a match on her, and all of a sudden she's engulfed in flame. Do you have any idea how that? I'm not sure how that actually happens.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
that doesn't equate. The other story I heard,
there was a good bit of fire in that.
The other story I heard was she was docile, asleep, laying on a bench or whatever, on the train that wasn't moving. He went up with a Zippo. I heard a Zippo.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I mean, take it from
that could that I'm just saying that was the original reporting I heard on that. So it could be
somehow or another. And I'd be curious to see if there's accelerant that was used, just sprayed first. Right. Because for me to walk up to you with a Zippo with your shirt,
I'm not going to immediately be engulfed in flames.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think there has to be some type of accelerant that was used. But it's just so sick. It's just so sick. And all right, so cool. We allowed you into the country. the former presidency allowed you into the country. Why does it make it seem, and it rolls right back into those 5 that beat the shit out of the cop in New York City? Mm-hmm. We're allowing you in. Okay, you shouldn't be here, but guess what? You're here. Why do you have to go do dumb shit? Why don't you go try to fucking make a fucking living some way, somehow? Sell drugs. I don't give a fuck. You sell drugs, but don't hurt somebody else. You selling drugs, that's going to happen. That's never going to change. That's going to happen for as long as we're alive. People are going to sell drugs. So be a drug dealer. Cool, got it. Why you got to fucking inflict harm, physical harm? And I can't imagine a worse way to fucking die is burning alive, which is ironic, being a fireman. Burning alive is the fucking worst. I can't imagine. So you made it through. Things are going to change here come January 20th. But you made it through. But why do you have to fucking hurt other people? You came to a better life
because the guy's a criminal fucking scumbag.
Because he's a piece of shit. Exactly. Thank you. That's all I need. He is a piece of shit.
And when I was on the radio yesterday, I did an interview with Sheriff Richard K. Jones of Butler County, which is the county north of the county that we're in right now. But Richard Jones,
that guy's a baller.
An absolute baller. But he has his own illegal immigration population there in parts of Butler County. And so he deals with this every day. He is 100% on board behind Tom Homan. This guy has been to the border. He knows Tom Homan. He is going to do everything he can to lock up illegals, to get them out of the country, do everything. He said if they need guys to assist, I'm going to send my deputies. I'm going to go. He said, I've stood on the border with a shotgun. I've been there. He's been there. He's seen it. Every state in the country is a border state and has a problem with the illegal aliens. And I talked a little bit, and you can find the interview on my X feed, but it's not my X feed. It's his X feed. If you look up Richard K. Jones, Butler County Sheriff, you'll find the interview.
That guy's a badass.
That we did the other day. And, the thing is, the media coverage on this, when these deportations start, is going to be, oh, my God, look at these poor people.
Right.
These just wanted to come here for a better life. And that mean Donald Trump and Tom Homan, they're going to put them in these horrible camps, and there's family separation and all this stuff. But you know what? When you hear these liberal, Ocasio-Cortezes of the world, and the Elizabeth Warrens and Rashida Tlaibs and Dick Durbins and all these fucktards from these liberal ass imbeciles talk about these people in such ways. This scumbag, this absolute dirtbag, is the kind of people that they're defending. These are the kind of people that they're saying, give them another chance. There was a story. Right. There was a story about an illegal.
They didn't mean anything by it.
An illegal alien. Oh, this woman who was here in the country, driving drunk, caused a wreck, killed a 12-year-old boy. Okay, and I think this is somewhere in California. I don't have the story in front of me. It doesn't matter what state it was in, but it was some liberal ass state with liberal ass judge. Maybe California, Washington, Oregon, doesn't matter. She was locked up in prison and was allowed to get out of prison to spend Christmas with her family. Isn't that nice?
That's adorable.
That's the kind of that. I mean, think about that. How? I mean, who? I couldn't, out of all the people that I know, I couldn't get one or two or three people in a room that would think doing something like that is a good idea. Where do these people come from who think this is a good idea? Here's a gal that's serving time in the country illegally, driving drunk, kills a kid in a drunk driving wreck. And you're going to say, oh, you know what? It's the holidays.
Right.
We'll give her a little pass, a little 3-4 day pass, go see the family. I don't want you to have any hard feelings. What a bunch of shit.
Right. We're giving conjugal visits just for feel goods. For feel goods. Just hugs, thoughts and prayers, T's and P's. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, Lake and Riley's fucking family dealing with everything that they're fucking dealing with.
Yeah. How was did Joe Biden send them a Christmas greeting?
Yeah. How was their Christmas?
Yeah.
How was exactly where I was going to go with that.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was perfect. Fucking idiots. The only guy, I
don't know what happened. I don't know. Well, here's the fucking video. What happened, you piece of shit?
Yeah.
This dude needs to be taking a dirt nap, and soon.
Yes. I don't even want a dirt nap yet. I want like full on torture. I want him to be burned alive to where he can feel exactly what she felt.
Yeah, if we lived in a just world, that would happen.
Yes.
If you ask me.
I sent you this article real quick, and I know you got a couple others, which we got plenty of time. We're good. But how ironic is it the fact that it took a lawsuit? It took a lawsuit to find some pictures.
Yeah.
Of our, at the time, vice president and his glowing of a gentleman son.
Jesus.
His fucking business partners. But it took a lawsuit to get this shit out. Now, if there wasn't an issue, if he was innocent and didn't do anything, then it'd be like, yeah, I was hanging out with him or whatever.
Sure. It's all good. So do anything wrong?
And like reading through this shit, I mean, I can scroll through. There's multiple other pictures, but how in the fuck does it take a lawsuit to get from the National Archives? No doubt, they had to sue the National Archives, and I'll find out who exactly sued them. No, I think it was America First Legal sued them.
Yeah,
the archives
under a FOIA.
Why were these in the archives? First and foremost,
well, because he's the vice president of the United States.
So any picture goes in,
and so
I'm asking for education.
I guess depending on who the photographer is, that photograph is property of the United States of America, and so all that stuff, it's historical record. It gets archived.
So there is
Joe Biden, I guess, at a time when he had his wits about him, knew that these pictures existed, or there was a good likelihood that photographs like this existed, but yet he was able to run enough interference in the system that he was able to keep these photographs from coming out.
It's just absolutely amazing to me. When we were talking, a couple months ago? Well, I mean, fuck, shit. We were talking a year ago about Hunter and all this shit because we got banned. We got banned when I showed the picture of him in the bathtub with a crack pipe. we got shadow banned for a minute.
I still, and I was looking at a clip from CNN a day or so ago, and there was a CNN. There was and look, the ratings for CNN are in the absolute shitter. And MSNBC is a hot turd right on top of them, man. I mean, they are going down fast. But they were talking about, and the host of the CNN show said, "Well, I still haven't seen any real evidence that Joe Biden, got money from the Chinese or the Kazakhstans or the Russians or any of these people." And I'm thinking, maybe how much of a moron and an imbecile idiot do you have to be to not? The reports are out there. The reports are out there about the shell companies. The reports are out there about the payments that came. The reports are out there that went. With the bank, this is not speculation or third party or anonymous sources. These are bank records of the checks that went back and forth between him and his brother, and the money that was transferred from one fund to another from the companies that Joe and Hunter Biden set up for these monies to come in, and the millions and millions of dollars that came in from Ukraine and from Russia and from China. I mean, it is all there, and they want to act, well, there's no proof. There's no proof the guy did anything wrong.
Nothing happened here. Nothing to see here, folks.
It's unbelievable. And now we have the photographs of this guy, palling around with these, with these fucking, I don't know, are they the Chinese guys? Are they the Kazakhstan guys? Or
no, they were the Chinese. The
Chinese guys.
The Chinese business partners of fucking Hunter. And I can't remember BHR.
But we've already seen the pictures where they're out on the golf course. I think those were the Kazakhstan guys or the Ukrainian guys out there on the golf course.
But it takes
because everyone knows the Ukrainians are way better golfers than the Chinese. I guess everyone knows.
Yeah, I'll take those over them. But no, it takes a fucking lawsuit to get these pictures out from the National Archives. Yeah. I found it funny because so much denial,
yeah.
And all of a sudden, hey, guess what? Oh, it's weird. As he's on his way out, pictures fucking come out. And that fucking guy, I mean, he doesn't even know like what door he's walking out of that fucking White House.
God,
he's just gonna bump along walls until he fucking finds an exit. Which
what about
can't come soon enough?
Did we even talk about the Wall Street Journal story that came out with the presidential aides who, from the earliest days of the administration, were covering up for Joe Biden and his inability to have meetings and carry out the functions of the president of the United States?
I mean, we knew he took a nap. We knew that.
Yeah,
we talked about that part.
But no, there's just been a ton of reporting that has come out, and you don't have to believe me. You can just Google it. Wall Street Journal, Joe Biden, and it's all out there, and it's actually worse than we thought because they couldn't even have.
Can it be?
I mean, they couldn't even have members of the cabinet go into meetings with Joe Biden. Cold. And what I mean when I say that is that let's say there's a situation happening somewhere in the world, and you need to. It's 2:00 in the morning. Some shit's going down, God knows where. And you need the Secretary of Defense, you need Secretary of State, you need the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs. You need these people, and you need them at the White House now. Well, Joe Biden couldn't be counted on to respond to a situation like that. The aides, the people that ran interference for him would say, you need to submit your questions in writing.
Yep.
And then
I remember
and then a response would be written for him that he would go to the meeting and he would read the response. This is a cabinet meeting. These are the people, the closest advisors to the president. You should be able to have an open and free exchange in these situations where they are telling you the information that they have, totally unbiased, unvarnished, maybe a little bit raw sometimes, but it's the latest and best information that they have to give to the president, because there's only one person responsible for making the ultimate decision, and that's the president of the United States. That's the way our system works.
Yep.
All these other people have tons of intelligence. They, all kinds of assets they can use. But when it comes to pulling the trigger and saying go or no go, it's all on the president. And so he's got to have that information. He wasn't able to carry out those duties from the earliest days. I don't know how you can possibly have a cabinet meeting where you have to have questions from your own cabinet, your own people, submitted in writing. And then the president's going to read back a pre-programmed and written response.
Right. Like almost like a fucking robot.
I mean, it is. And how many times, Jason, did we do this podcast? With me, you, Pappas, back in the days of Rob Herking, and said, who was really running the country? How many times did we ask that question?
Multiple.
How many times?
And the answer equivocally was not him. He had people behind him. He had people behind him because he didn't know what the fuck he was doing. And then he started declining. He declined way faster, I think, than what everybody was thinking.
And not only that, you had the vice president of the United States. You had the chief of staff. You had the speaker of the House. You had the leader of the Senate. You had all these cabinet members. Pete Buttigieg. I mean, that guy, worthless piece of shit that he is. Mayorkas, the head of Homeland Security. Javier Barcera,
Mayorkas, who dodges every.
Oh my God,
dodges everything.
He needs to be
all responsibility.
All these people were denying that there was. Remember Joe Biden. Had a meeting with him the other day. I mean, I'm telling you what, you got to be sharp. You got to be on your A game. This guy really knows what's going on. We heard that time and time and time again from these people, and they were flat out lying to the American. They were spinning this narrative. For what? Not for the good of the United States, but for a small group of people to be able to hold on to power.
They're protecting him.
Yeah.
They're protecting him and his image, even though they were very, very terrible at it. Because you had, as we called her multiple times on this show, Sideshow Bob, Corinne Jean-Pierre, who would get caught in lies constantly. And Peter Doocy, I would give my left nut to have Peter Doocy as a guest. If I could figure a way to make that happen, I know it's never going to happen.
Well, Doocy, and the reason I said what I said about the cabinet members having to submit their questions in writing is because that Peter Doocy said it on Fox News.
Yes,
the day this report came out, they did a 5 or 6 minute interview with him on Fox and Friends that morning, and his dad is the co-host of that show. And he said, I was there. I saw it. I asked questions about this all the time. So I'm actually going to give Corinne Jean-Pierre a little bit of grace here.
Oh,
I think she witnessed what she witnessed with her own eyes. But I think she was kept outside of, I don't think she was ever on the very inner circle. I think she was orbiting the outside. And if she ever writes a book, I want you to remember this.
But she will. She probably will.
I want you to remember this because I think just my own observations of how she's operated over these last several years. She was never in the inner circle. I mean, she traveled with the president. She was on Air Force One, all that stuff. But still, that doesn't mean you're in the very inner circle. I think she was on the outside of that circle and never really had direct access to Biden. And she was always told what to say to the media.
And I agree with that. And that position, I think it's pretty much everybody in that position. That's a shit position to be in. But guess what? You're that person. So that's what we're seeing. So when Peter Doocy fucking asks something and she contradicts herself as to what he did, you're the guy. You're the guy or gal that gets fucked over. You're that point man. And it sucks. That's a shit position to be in. There's no fucking way I would want to, when they say, all right, you're going to be our press secretary.
Well,
we're putting here, whatever, position. She's fucked. She's fucked from the get-go because she's never going to know exactly, because she's never going to say to the public and the media everything that's actually happening.
But here's the difference. As the press secretary, you're in the meeting, you know what's going on. You have, you know who the players are. You know what the facts of the story are. As the press secretary, you're the one who says, here's how we're going to spin this. Here's how we're going to present it. This is what we're going to say. In her situation, she was told, here's how you're going to spin it. This is what you're going to say.
Right.
So that it's a difference. Do you understand? Am I making that clear? To my way of thinking, that's what the difference is.
Paid.
All right. That's what the difference is. And I think with her, and look, Joe Biden is as racist as they come, and he's looking at this young black girl with the bobble haircut, whatever that is, the sideshow Bob,
sideshow Bob.
And I think Biden didn't want her knowing everything that there is to know.
And I bring sideshow Bob into that.
That's my own speculation. I may be look, if I'm wrong, everyone watching right now, if I'm wrong on this, I will own it when the time comes. That's my pledge to you.
No, I don't, and I don't think you're wrong. I agree to a point with what you're saying. When over the last fucking year and a half, before Rob got sick and everything else, we were hammering shit, but we called her Sideshow Bob because she would come out, but she started coming out spicy. She would get pissed off.
Yeah.
And I couldn't imagine serving in that position, standing in front of a firing squad every fucking day. And the sharpshooter is Peter Ducey. I think
Ducey's great.
I think we can agree that he's a sharpshooter, but that's a shit spot, right? So I agree with you that she was only given what she was told, but you're the image. Yeah. You're the image, and you have to fucking deal with that. And I mean, we'll see what happens. I would be very curious when you brought it up, if she writes a book, and if it's an honest book, I'd be very curious to read it. I would definitely read that book.
Yeah, and I'm just guessing that she didn't have the full weight,
She probably didn't.
Of responsibility that she could exercise.
And we fucked her over on this podcast multiple times. I'll say I fucked her over multiple times. Oh, Sideshow Bob fucking said this.
Well,
whatever. I'll take that. But you're in that position, so you're going to get that ridicule and that judgment.
All right, let's say a few words here about our buddy Rick Barrick. When the time comes to borrow money, it doesn't matter who you are, there are always questions, and we'd like to suggest when that time comes for you, you consider our buddy Rick Barrick. He's been helping thousands of customers unlock the financing potential of their homes for more than 26 years. His experience with Cross Country Mortgage, they have really teamed up. And the second largest mortgage company in America. And what they do is they offer solutions for every borrower. I mean, we're talking about if it's a new home purchase, a refinancing, low interest home equity line of credit to consolidate some debt. Rick has all the options, and he will tailor a unique finding and a unique situation just for you. Because every situation, when you think about it, is unique. And if you had a challenge with your credit score in the past, Rick Barrick can help you get on the right path. So it's just a good idea to talk with him. And the number you want to call is on your screen, 513-383-2923, or you can email Rick Barrick, rick.barrick, BARRICK, @ccm.com. You do that, and you're just a step away from a personalized mortgage solution.
NMLS 18738.
Very good.
Apparently, we're supposed to say that, which I didn't realize we were supposed to say that.
Got to say it.
Got to say it. We'll put that in the copy.
When you do it, we
At this
can.
point. But no, it's we're in a, like I said, we're in purgatory right now between Christmas and New Year's. We appreciate everybody that has,
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, really, I've been in the news business for a long time, and what sucks about this time of year is that typically the news cycle is really very slow. So this is why, when you turn on the TV, you see all these stories. Well, hey, the airports are packed today, and the turkey hotline is open. How do you cook that? What do you do with the giblets when you get them out of the turkey? I mean, you know what I'm talking about, right? All this kind of, what's your New Year's resolution? I mean, that's coming up because it's typically a slow news period, but with all these reports that have been coming out about the absolute scandal that the Wuhan virus was, the absolute scandal that and the Jim Jordan just came out with his committee's report on the weaponization of government, 17,000 pages, 17,000 pages, and I looked at that website, and it goes down agency by agency by agency, incident by incident by incident. And you click on one, and it gives you a 10 or 12 page paragraph synopsis of what happened in this particular instance. And in that way, it's a lot to go through. But every single one is just a major scandal on top of scandal. It's absolutely unbelievable. If Trump even did, one scintilla of the kind of stuff that this administration did, it would be so blown out of the water. And here's the thing now that's happening today is that Vivek Ramaswamy put out on his X feed. I'm going to do this.
Do it.
I'm going to do this real quick. I'm going to see if I could find what he posted on his X feed today, because look, Vivek Ramaswamy. Okay. Let me see. There we go. Let's see if I can. Look, the guy is a super smart guy. I
love that dude.
He made $1 million while he was still in college, and he's gone on to make billions as a biotech entrepreneur and all the rest of it. But
and lives in Evendale, which is close to us.
Yeah,
very close.
But super smart, super rich, and he's going to be doing the Doge. And I'm not finding the tweet here, but anyway. But essentially, he talked about the American way. He was talking about the American way of life, and he, this is a guy that comes from his perspective is that he's lived and grew up with a family of immigrants that value education very, very highly. So when he was a kid, his nose was put to the grindstone. He really didn't have any choice but to be academically not just good in school, but superior in school. And he was talking about how we need more of that attitude in this country. And I think the way he expressed himself was probably not the most eloquent, probably maybe a little heavy-handed. But I'm reading the tweet, and I'm seeing what he's saying is that he's saying, and there was a line in there where he talked about we need to celebrate the kid who wins the math competition, and not so much the kid who's the quarterback of the football team or the girl who becomes prom queen. Right. Yeah. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of people who took, and our friend, Lady Maga USA was one who took exception to that with him saying that. And I don't think he was saying that we need to do that to the exclusion of these other things.
It's just all inclusive.
Yeah. But so much of the silliness that we involve ourselves in doesn't serve our young people well, and it has come to the point where it's taking a toll on our country and not serving our country well, I think is the point that he was trying to make. So the media is seizing on this, and they're talking about H-1B visas and Vivek, not Vivek, but Elon Musk put out a tweet saying something about that. So now they're trying to say, oh my God, these two have a difference of opinion. There's a big split in the Republican Party now, and there's a big split. There's trouble in Trump land, with this team.
It's been literally been half a fucking second.
Yeah,
it's been half a second, and yeah, that liberal media is going to grab onto that and be like, "Oh my God, they're not agreeing."
Yeah.
The Doge. There's a split in the Doge.
Yeah,
no, I think they're doing good work. Even before they're even doing work, they're doing good work.
Yeah, so I even had someone call me on the radio today talking about, you're a big deal now, Dan. Big right winger, big Trump supporter. Now the whole thing is falling apart because of this, that. And I was like, no, they're not really falling apart. The media is trying to make a huge deal out of this that is nothing more than just smart people who may that. I don't even really know. If you really want to sit down and do a deep dive and analyze everything they're saying, I don't even know that there's really that much of a difference of opinion there.
No.
But smart people are not going to see every issue the exact same way. So they may say something that on the surface appears to be a little bit different, but they're smart enough to where they can figure things out.
And that's exactly why I think those are the two best people to be. As Trump made that Doge, two best people, because they're going to have two differences of opinion, probably agree on a lot, but they are going to differ. But you got Vivek coming this way, Elon coming this way. They will meet in a middle ground, and even if they don't, that's okay. But they're still doing the right things and moving forward. The project is moving forward. It's a quote unquote department that is meant to self-destruct. Get it figured out and then move on.
So I found what I was talking about. Here's what Vivek wrote. The reason top tech companies often hire foreign-born and first-generation engineers over Native Americans isn't because of an innate American IQ deficit, a lazy, and he writes in parentheses here, a lazy and wrong explanation. A key part of it comes down to the C word, culture. Tough questions demand tough answers, and if we're really serious about fixing the problem, we have to confront the truth. Our American culture has venerated mediocrity over excellence for way too long, at least since the 90s and likely longer. That doesn't start in college. It starts young. A culture that celebrates the prom queen over the math Olympiad champ or the jock over the valedictorian will not produce the best engineers. A culture that venerates Corey from Boy Meets World, a show I'm sure you're familiar with, right?
I know it. I'd never watched it. But
neither did I.
I know what it is.
Or Zach and Slater over Screeched and Saved by the Bell.
Now you're talking my language.
Okay. Give me the dichotomy there. Zach and Slater over Screech. Who is Screech from Saved by the Bell?
Screech was the nerd. Slater was the fucking jock.
Okay. Zach and Slater, both two jocks there. So those kids were portrayed as
Zach was like the popular kid.
Okay. So they were portrayed as the cool kids and the ones everyone wanted to hang out with. Right. And Screech was sort of I never watched Saved by the Bell, so I don't know.
He was the nerd.
Yeah. So this is the problem I had with this tree is because these references don't work for me because I'm not familiar with these.
I'll help you out.
Or how about Stefan over Steve Urkel in Family Matters? Urkel.
Well, obviously.
Didn't Urkel go on to do porn?
No. You're thinking of Screech, actually.
Screech went on to do porn?
Steve Urkel was, did I do that?
The black kid, the skinny black kid with the big glasses?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was Steve Urkel.
All right. Then in parentheses again. Fact. I know multiple sets of immigrant parents in the 90s who actively limited how much their kids could watch those TV shows, precisely because they promoted mediocrity. And their kids went on to become wildly successful STEM graduates. More movies like Whiplash, fewer reruns of Friends. I'm not familiar. Is Whiplash, is that the show about the kid who plays the drums?
Yes.
Yeah, good. Oh, I love that movie.
I haven't watched all of it. I've seen part of it.
Really good.
I haven't
movie.
watched all of it.
Yeah, okay. Fewer reruns of Friends, more math tutoring, fewer sleepovers, more weekend science competitions, fewer Saturday morning cartoons, more books, less TV, more creating, less chilling, more extracurriculars, less hanging out at the mall. So he's not saying that these things are wrong. Kids love to hang out at the mall, which I don't know. Are there any malls exist anymore?
Kenwood Town Center.
Watching cartoons on Saturday. He's not saying it's a bad thing. He's saying, man, maybe a little less of that is a good thing, in favor of, maybe go to a science competition instead of watching cartoons all day. Is that a bad thing?
Big thing is screen time. How
Yeah.
much screen time are your kids having with an iPad or computer or whatever?
Most normal American parents look skeptically at those kinds of parents. More normal American kids view those kind of kids with scorn. If you grow up aspiring to normalcy is what you will achieve. Close your eyes and visualize which families you knew in the 90s or even now who raised their kids according to one model versus the other. Be brutally honest. Normalcy doesn't cut it in a hyper-competitive global market for technical talent. If we pretend like it does, we'll have our asses handed to us by China.
Yep.
This can be our Sputnik moment. We've awakened from slumber before we can do it again. Trump's election hopefully marks the beginning of a new golden era in America, but only if our culture fully wakes up. A culture that once again prioritizes achievement over normalcy, excellence over mediocrity, nerdiness over conformity, hard work over laziness. That's the work we have cut out for us. Rather than wallowing in victimhood and just wishing or legislating alternative hiring practices into existence, I'm confident we can do it. So Vivek Ramaswamy, that's the post that he put out on social media. And that is what the media is seizing on to say that, Vivek has some kind of view of America, that Americans are terrible, that we're lazy, that we need to get our shit together. And as I read that, I don't get that sense of that at all. I mean, he's calling out some hard truths that need to be called out.
Yes.
But he's also sounding, a call to action. He's saying, look, he's saying, he's not telling anyone that they're doing something wrong, but he's saying that we need to pay more attention to what we're doing because the pendulum has swung a little too far. Let's get back to striving for excellence. And we will achieve, if we strive for, as a nation, as a country, if we strive for more excellence, then we will achieve more excellence.
Yes.
And that's what I take from that.
And you using that pendulum analogy, you're right. Everything swung this way. And when we were talking about screen time and, all this shit and, Saturday morning cartoons, do something constructive, get our kids fucking moving forward in a positive, productive manner, whatever that may be. You got to figure that out. But no, I think he killed it. But the fact that now they're saying that, him and Elon are now having a riff, because that's an article I read earlier today that him and Elon are in a rift because they don't agree on the way things are. That's bullshit. Complete and utter bullshit.
So here was the response from our friend Lady MAGA USA to Vivek Ramaswamy. And he writes, Vivek, dear Vivek, you can shut up. I was a 4.0 student in high school and college. I'm an Eagle Scout. I lived all over the world. I speak 3 languages fluently. I've excelled in everything I've tried. And I love Zach Morris. I'm not sure who Zach Morris is.
Saved by the Bell.
Okay.
He was like the popular kid. Saved by the Bell.
American culture is unique because we value witnesses. We value witness, personality, attractiveness, showmanship, social skills, competition, and yes, prom queens and quarterbacks. You've attacked the fundamental differences between us and countries that value collectivism over individualism. We love normal badasses like Mel Gibson. We love hot trad wives. I'm not sure what a trad wife is. TRAD wives. Trad. We love hot trad wives. I'd rather spend the day with an all-American plumber, waitress, or hairstylist than a cloned tech genius. And I can't say I disagree with that at all. There's a reason that the entire world worships the American culture. We don't want to be Asians. We don't want to be replaced. We've led the world in everything. Yes, we are the cool ones. We're cool, fun, generous, Christian, outgoing, free, and rambunctious. That's why the world wants to come here. Why are you here and not in India? So that is the response from our friend Lady MAGA USA.
We need Lady MAGA back.
And I would say to that the things that Lady MAGA says are also true. So it's possible for two things to be true.
Yes.
And multiple things to be true at the same time. So Lady MAGA is extremely smart. I'd consider Ryan is his real name to be a very smart individual. And I think the observations that he writes down in this tweet are as valid and meaningful as any observations that Vivek Ramaswamy has said.
I would love to be able to get Lady MAGA back on.
Yeah,
because she's a friend of the show. He's been on, to kind of dissect that.
Well, I would like to have him on too, to dissect this, and I think he makes very good points about,
yes.
We don't want to be Asians. We don't want to be replaced. We've led the world in everything. Those are also facts. And I think you can break this down in such ways that I don't think that they're really talking about things that are all that much different. There's nothing wrong with celebrating these things that Lady MAGA wants to celebrate. Being an Eagle Scout is awesome. Speaking 3 languages. I mean, my God, I would love to be able to speak 3 languages.
You remember hearing the phrase like you can talk 2 points to I can't remember exactly how it goes. You can talk 2 points up until it turns into a stone, but then guess what? They both end up being right.
You get to the same place.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just you can talk them both. It's just the way you're wording it, the way I word it. I mean, it's just we've done this numerous times in the 2.5, almost 3 years of this podcast. We have talked points back and forth. We think we're arguing, but we're actually not.
Yeah.
So I think that's a perfect example.
So that's it. So you're going to see a lot of that if you look at a little MSNBC tonight or CNN or the national news. They're going to be trying to play up a big rift in the Republican Party because someone disagreed with something that Vivek Ramaswamy said. Well, you know what? The people who are debating this issue, and this to me is a great example of people having a disagreement or seeing things not exactly the same way and expressing themselves. Lady MAGA says, you can shut up, and then at the end he says, that's why we're here. Why are you here, not in India? That's a little bit of a jab there.
A little bit of pink.
Yeah. But for the most part, they're on point and they're arguing their points, which to my way of thinking, this is robust debate that we have going on right here. Nothing wrong with that.
What makes me laugh though is the fact that fucking Trump's not even in yet. He's not even in yet, and this shit's already.
It's fantastic.
Started.
It's unbelievable.
Danno,
all right. It's been fun. That was fun. That was a fun hour, almost hour and a half already.
We'll figure out, because I know your radio schedule's a little bit hectic right now.
It is.
So,
I got radio all next week except for New Year's Eve.
What are you doing New Year's Eve?
I'll probably be at the Post.
I hope you are.
I think that's what my plans are.
I hope you are.
Planning on it.
Maybe we'll do some Instagram. We'll do some Instagram work.
All right. Sounds good.
New Year's Eve, and we'll be back to you guys after New Year's Eve. Let everybody's schedules kind of settle down, figure it out. But we appreciate you guys. Everybody that supports us, all the support that we got from the fans for Jill's family and me and fucking Merry Christmas to fucking Dan. We got New Year's coming, but we appreciate everybody, and we will see you after the new year.